Hey everybody, how's it going? Aaron Rift here along with good old JM, Jeff Meacham. How you doing today, Jeff?
I am doing well. I'm looking forward to this show. This is going to be a very interesting discussed show.
Yes, today we will be discussing the WWE's worst booking decisions of 2015. Now, I posted one of those ranker.com lists on NoDQ.com where people could vote thumbs up or thumbs down. I made a list for every single year of the modern era going back to 1984, and currently ranked dead last, number 32, is 2015.
Wow.
Do you think that this was WWE's worst year ever in the modern era?
Booking wise and storyline wise, it was definitely one of the worst. But yeah, remember, we grew up in the pre-Attitude Era.
Yeah.
We saw some horrendous shit.
Yes, we did.
We saw the early 90s shit, post-Hogan. We saw, prior to Brett's ascension to stardom, like the late 80s, early 90s were just atrocious.
Yeah.
They were. And part of that was Hogan. But part of that was just WWE's lack of desire to go beyond Hogan.
Yeah.
But this year, I think from beginning to end, booking decisions from the get have just been colossal failures.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been really bad.
Yeah, I think that this year, in-ring wise, it's been a great year. I mean,
yeah,
arguably, WWE has the best roster it's ever had.
They do.
Between WWE and NXT.
They're just booked so shitty.
Yeah, I would say creatively, this has been the worst year since the mid-1990s, in my opinion. 93, 94. I would say 93, 94, 95 were still worse than this year. But this has definitely been the worst year post-Attitude Era, for sure, when it comes to creative.
Yeah, the time between Hogan's final departure in 93 until the start of the rise of Austin were horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible years. But this year's been pretty bad, too.
Yeah. All right, so let's try to do this in chronological order, and you can add some of yours as we go along here. I'll start off with the beginning of the year with Daniel Bryan coming back before the Royal Rumble. This was bad for several reasons. First off, Daniel Bryan perhaps coming back too soon, and you can give your thoughts on that.
I will.
And the other reason is Daniel Bryan coming back made fans invested in the idea that Bryan was coming back and he was going to win back the WWE title and it was going to be another feel-good moment for him. Instead, WWE was hell-bent on having Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble, and the fans just completely turned on it.
It totally bit Roman in the ass.
Yeah, it was the worst thing for Roman Reigns.
It really was, and it still hounds him to this day.
Yeah.
But Bryan coming back, he was not ready. And they rushed him back. And then when he wasn't ready again and he got hurt again, now they won't let him come back at all.
Yeah.
They can't decide what the hell they want to do. You know, this guy, I found a picture. I was looking through a photo bucket. I found a picture of him and I from Gorilla in 2005.
Yeah. Pro Wrestling Gorilla.
Which is how far back we all go with Bryan.
Yeah.
And so young and so full of energy and so full of life and so just ready to take on the world. Not quite Ring of Honor World Champion yet, but getting there. I look at him now, it's the same smile. He still wants so bad to be a part of WWE and be part of the industry. And because he can't pass their latest series of tests, he's on the sidelines having to look him inside in and growing his beard out more than you are.
Yeah.
It's sad. And it's all because they rushed him back at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, and Roman Reigns winning the Rumble wasn't even a bad booking decision. I mean, I understand what WWE was trying to accomplish. They were trying to establish a new top star to replace Cena. That's cool. But the way they did it by having Daniel Bryan come back before the Royal Rumble just made everybody want to see that story be told with Daniel Bryan.
The story we won in 2014.
Yeah.
They wanted that so bad, and when they didn't get it, they crapped all over Roman.
Yeah.
I've never heard a live... I thought Batista was bad through the 14 Rumble.
Yeah.
The Roman boos were worse.
Yeah.
They didn't even cheer The Rock. They were pissed at The Rock for helping Roman.
Yeah, so WWE failing to learn from their previous mistake with that one.
Yep.
Moving on here to WrestleMania. Triple H defeating Sting.
I don't have a problem with Sting losing his initial outing. because I get it. The WWE ego has to defeat WCW once and for all. I understand that. Whether I agree with it or not, I understand it. However, his booking the rest of the year, which was non-existent, except for that match with Rollins.
Yeah.
How do you take the greatest star to never have previously appeared in WWE, who's still in decent enough shape to go, and book him like that?
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
Yeah, well, with that WrestleMania match, the thing is, going in, we didn't know if Sting was going to wrestle after that. And if that was going to be his one and only match, he should get that win so he can say he won a match in WWE, his one and only match in the company.
Right.
And everybody in the building, I was there at Levi Stadium, everyone wanted Sting to win. And when Triple H won, you just, the crowd just completely went silent.
They did.
I mean, they were so disappointed. Everybody was disappointed. It was, when that happened, I knew right there it was clearly the wrong finish. And that whole storyline really made no sense because Sting came out on Raw before the pay-per-view and said that this wasn't about WCW. This was about Triple H and him abusing his power, whatnot. And then at WrestleMania, it's all about WCW versus WWE.
Yeah.
The whole thing made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
And, I thought it was cool when the NWO came out there and DX came out there. In the moment, I was enjoying it. But as soon as it was over, I'm like, that made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
It was just a complete
and the whole thing
wreck.
about, Sting and Hunter abusing his power, what the fuck business is Sting's?
Yeah.
He wasn't even the company. What does he care?
Yeah.
Why does he care that Triple H is abusing his power? He didn't even work for WWE. Why does he care? And they made it about WWE versus WCW at the end, so I was like, okay.
Yeah. And then he shakes Triple H's hand after he said he was going to get rid of Triple H. I mean, come on now.
It was horrible.
It was very poorly done.
And now you look, Hogan's gone.
Yeah.
Hall's still recovering from everything he's recovering from. Nash is gone. X-Pac is working in Florida. Yeah. Billy Gunn's gone.
Yeah, it was just
the whole thing.
It was just hey, let's have NWO and DX out there just for the sake of it. But WWE and it was all about ego. It was
one big huge ego moment.
It was making a booking decision for the totally wrong reasons.
Yeah, it was trying to recreate the Attitude Era at the exact wrong time.
Yeah. So moving on here, I want to talk about Brock Lesnar's booking and what they've done with him and the whole bringing back Undertaker and that storyline with the low blow and the Battleground pay-per-view ending with the DQ and then the SummerSlam match and that whole finish that they did where you had Brock Lesnar having the match pretty much won. He has Undertaker in the submission hold and then the timekeeper calls for the bell. Is it the referee supposed to signal for the bell? Why would the timekeeper ring the bell? I mean, terrible.
Brock Lesnar's booking since he lost the WWE World Heavyweight Championship has been atrocious.
Yeah.
If they're going to have this guy be part-time, and they're going to have this guy come in for marquee matches and big matches, he needs to decisively win or unquestionably lose those matches.
Yeah.
That wishy-washy shit at SummerSlam was just that wishy-washy shit. Hell in a Cell, it came down to was better, but it still wasn't good. And him and Rollins at Night of Champions, or whatever show that was, Battleground, was awful. It was a decent match, technically speaking, but it was one-sided.
Yeah, all those matches were good. Just the booking was horrible for all those matches.
The finishes were shit. Absolutely shit.
Yeah, you bring in Brock Lesnar a couple times a year, and you cannot even do clean finishes with him on pay-per-view.
Yet the year before, he rolls into WrestleMania and soundly pounds The Undertaker, and then rolls into SummerSlam and decisively, in front of all of us, just destroys John Cena. And the next year, he's booked like this.
Yeah, you either do one of two things. You bring in Brock Lesnar, you have him clearly beat people, or you have him lose and put over somebody. Just stop doing this where you bring in Brock Lesnar and then the match ends in a DQ and they drag it out for 3 months. It's so lame.
Nobody was more outspoken than me about Brock Lesnar returning in 2012 because I did not like Brock. I still don't like Brock. I think he's a jerk. I think he's... I do. From personal experience, not just from he's the character, he's an asshole.
Well, you're not the first person I know that's told me that.
That's what I'm saying. But you know what? He's a special attraction That's what Brock Lesnar is. He's a special, once-in-a-lifetime talent. And for him to be booked the way he's been booked, whether I personally like him or not is irrelevant. He's been booked like crap. And it's not fair.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Divas a little bit here. I want to talk about Nikki Bella beating AJ Lee's record for the Divas Championship, the longest reign in history.
Go ahead.
I mean, once again, like the whole Triple H beating Sting fiasco, it's more about ego than actually doing something that's practical. I mean, I feel the only reason Nikki Bella beat the record was to wipe out AJ Lee's record because WWE is pissed off at CM Punk.
Yeah. Do you think Rollins would have retained all the way past Punk's record?
Possibly. I think it was definitely possible. I mean, who knows? Maybe Roman Reigns would have won the title, but it's possible. But because they had that opportunity to break AJ Lee's record, they did it.
Yeah.
And I feel it was done literally just to end the record. I mean, she lost the title, what?
6 days later.
Yeah,
6
a week
days
after
later.
it happened.
Yep.
So yeah, I wasn't a fan of that at all because it was done for the wrong reasons.
I've not been a fan of the Diva storylines since the initial outing of the Revolution.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact it was turned into a faction war. I didn't like the fact that it was turned into, Paige against the world. I didn't like the fact that it was turned into Charlotte, being driven into madness by Paige and turning on everybody else. And it sucks for Nikki. She got hurt, but shit happens.
Yeah.
I do like that. It seems to me after the horrible Raw from a little while ago that they're starting to get behind Sasha again, because I like Sasha Banks, but again, it can't be about a turf war between the Divas. They've tried gang wars in the past.
Yeah.
It doesn't work with guys or the girls. It just does not work.
Yeah.
Which is why the League of Nations, I don't think, but we'll get to them later.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to work full time either.
Yeah, and speaking of the Divas, the whole Charlotte Paige storyline where they brought up Reed Flair.
God, that was hideous.
That was just such a bad decision, very poor taste, and it really accomplished nothing. I mean, they didn't even follow up on it. They quickly dropped it, and it didn't do anything to get people excited about that match. At Survivor Series, nobody cared.
No.
The whole point of doing that is to generate heat. So when you get to the match, people care about it and they react to it, and they didn't care.
No, it was the least well received Divas pay-per-view match of the year.
Yeah,
and it shouldn't have been because it was the two best of the year, I think, and it was bad.
So you went for the cheap heat and you didn't even get anything out of it.
Yep. Well, in a time where pay-per-view buys aren't necessarily important anymore because of the network, why go for the cheap heat?
Yeah.
Why get the cheap heat to garner in buys when you're basically paying very little to do it anyway because you have your own network now?
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Something I wanted to bring up before we go on to that, because we kind of passed by a little bit, was we talked about Brock Lesnar's booking post-WrestleMania. What about Roman Reigns prior to the Bray Wyatt feud?
Yeah.
Roman Reigns' booking in the summer was horrible.
Well, you could say that about the entire year, really.
Well, right, but if Roman was going to be the guy, then he should not have been in a. Was he in the Big Show? I think. In Big Show, God, Big Show. Where the hell is Big Show even right now? But that was bad. Roman really lost immediate steam after WrestleMania after he got screwed by Rollins and didn't get really anything under his ass again until Bray cost him Money in the Bank. So that was a long 3-4 months of just languishing in shit. So if he's going to be your guy, book him better.
Yeah. And the whole Money in the Bank storyline with Bray Wyatt just coming out there and costing him the match and Sheamus becoming the Money in the Bank winner.
Anyone but you, Roman.
Yeah.
Anyone but you.
Yeah, I mean that was really weak.
It was.
And
like you said, this whole year's been weak. That's why we're doing this show.
Yeah, we'll get to Sheamus more in a minute here.
Oh, yes.
I want to go back to Big Show because you just brought him up.
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar in the Big Show, you can do a match to build up Brock Lesnar and you put him in there with the Big Show, even though he's already faced the Big Show
numerous times,
including last year, 2014. He faced
the Rumble.
Big Show.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even that long ago. It wasn't even the first run of Brock Lesnar. It was the second run that he faced the Big Show.
The Big Show is also one of those special attractions now, where he's at the tail end of his career. He shouldn't be booked in anything tedious or stupid or whatever. He should just be used on special events. And the way he was booked against Brock was atrocious. You can't book those guys together. You just can't do it because one of them has to lose, one of them has to win, and neither one of them should lose.
Well, Big Show should be losing at this point, but I mean...
Well, okay, that's fine, but not to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean...
He should be putting over the younger talent, the talent that needs that. Brock needs no push.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar is fucking Brock Lesnar. He doesn't need a Big Show defeat push.
Yeah.
He doesn't need that shit. Neville would need a Big Show feud, you know, some Dave vs. Goliath thing that'll really get somebody over.
Or just give us something fresh, something we haven't seen before.
Something new.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And when you mention new, you have to mention one good thing about WWE's 2015, and that's your boys.
Yep.
The New Day. Those guys, I hate it. I hate that I'm saying this, but they're a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
They really have been this year.
Yeah. Three things in WWE I felt were really good this year. New Day, Cesaro, and Roman, and not Roman. Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins got a lot of shit from a lot of people. I was not one of them, I don't think, ever in this whole year. I think that Seth was a great WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I think he had a raw deal where he got his knee hurt. I think it was fucked up. And I think that he will come back next year with that huge Triple H 2002 babyface push, and he will kick ass. It'll be awesome.
He wasn't even booked that well as champion, though. I mean, besides beating Sting, he lost most of his matches.
But you know what? He was great in ring, and yeah, he looked weak by losing by disqualification or sneaking out by the skin of his ass with the championship. But you know what? It seemed to me toward the end, before he got hurt, they were starting to turn that corner and make that better. And maybe he was going to lose to Roman at Survivor Series. Yeah. I don't know. But it looked like they were starting to turn the corner with him.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens when he comes back.
Yeah, and I mentioned Cesaro, too, how they've been booking him.
Cesaro had a great year. It just got abbreviated because he got hurt.
Well, 2014, he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and then they basically erased that by having Big Show again, beat him, and it erased what happened in 2014 when they did WrestleMania 31. And just for the entire year, Cesaro keeps getting the biggest reactions of the night, and then he continues to not go anywhere in WWE.
Yeah, it goes back to what Vince was saying on the network, on the podcast with Austin. People don't get invested in Cesaro. That's bullshit. People love Cesaro.
Yeah, and
Vince refuses to get behind him.
Yeah, I mean it's really a shame. The guy gets tremendous reactions, and
Claudio Castagnoli Cesaro has always been good.
Yeah.
And he's finally getting a run with WWE, and they keep shitting on it.
Yeah, I mean he's not a great talker, but
he's not. But you know what? Give him a manager.
Sometimes you just let the guy go out there and do what he's good at doing.
Just shut up and fight. That's
it. Just let him. He's incredibly strong.
He is. The guy is a legitimate beast.
He can do things that 99% of human beings cannot do.
No kidding.
So let him go out there and do that stuff, and you don't need to do anything else with him.
Nope.
I mean, keep it simple. We talked about Sheamus earlier, not just him winning Money in the Bank, but then he actually successfully cashed it in at Survivor Series.
I was cocksure he was going to be the one to cash it in and lose again. I was so sure of it.
Yeah.
And then he wins. But, I was sitting over here watching the pay-per-view, and Roman won. It was a big celebration and everything. And I looked at my dad and I went, here he comes.
Yep.
I'll bet you $100.
But I thought that when Sheamus came out, he was going to lose. He was going to come out and fail, and that would make Roman Reigns even more of a dominant champion. And if you're going to go with Roman Reigns as champion, you might as well go all the way and make him as dominant as possible. By having him lose to Sheamus, a guy who earlier on the show was laughed at by the New Day for being a complete joke, and this is a guy that was never winning matches. All of a sudden, he's the champion now, and he beats Roman Reigns, and they're trying to recreate the Daniel Bryan underdog storyline with Roman Reigns as Daniel Bryan.
But the thing is, Roman is not Bryan Danielson. He's not an underdog. He's a big old tough Samoan who kicks ass first and takes names later.
Yeah.
He's not Bryan Danielson. He's not that guy.
Yeah. So it's totally not working.
Yeah. I didn't like my two least favorite bookings this year, besides Sheamus. Kane.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Just Kane.
Kane in general.
Kane in general this year. And Lana.
Yeah.
They ruined her. They had such a chance with her when her and Rusev broke up in storyline. And they just completely crapped on it because Lana broke the rules.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, and she was being groomed to be one of the star attractions
Of the
in
Divas
WWE.
division, yeah.
And she was going to be
Yep.
like the next Sable or something like that.
Yep.
And yeah, it just completely...
And now she's back in the hair bun, and that's it.
Yep, that's it. So, yeah, so much for that.
I'm very disappointed because I think Lana's gorgeous. And I think that with the right training, she could be a really decent in-ring performer. But she blew it.
Yeah.
Or Rusev both blew it.
Yeah, and WWE blew it too by not following up on their storyline that they invested time in too.
Yep, they just totally went up. You're going to break the rules? I'll show you to break the rules.
That was actually one of the few storylines that they had that went from week to week and actually almost meant something.
It was good episodic TV in a time where we weren't getting a lot of that this year.
Yeah.
And then they blew it.
Well, I don't know about the whole Ruru stuff. I mean, that was ridiculous.
That was really bad.
At least they had something.
Right. At least they were giving Dolph something to do, and Summer something to do,
Yeah.
and Rusev and Lana something to do. And then they just went, and now Summer isn't even talking anymore.
Yeah. So is there anything else you want to add, or you've said your piece?
I said my piece. It's been a shitty year. Yeah, you know what? Other than coming back to work for you full time, it's been a shitty year for me, period.
Yeah.
It really has.
You know, you mentioned earlier, you mentioned the League of Nations, too. I mean, just throwing a bunch of mid-carders together, hoping you can have a strong heel unit in WWE. Why not just build up your heels and give them some credibility
Well,
as individuals?
Well, they're all about unity, right?
Oh, my... Don't... I'm done.
If Byron Saxton said that one more time, I was going to punch him in the face.
I'm done. Never say that on this channel again.
You got it.
Yeah,
I won't, I promise.
You will be...
I'll be fired again.
You will be tied up to a chair and forced to watch Noah Donish for 10 hours.
Oh, God.
Just kidding, Noah.
Just kidding. No, we love you, buddy.
Check out The Scoop, folks.
Yes, check out the scoop on
Give
the
Noah a
channel.
chance.
Yeah, give Noah a chance, man. He's good. Damn it. I'll pick on him so much.
So let's hope that 2016 is a better year.
God.
The 2016 will be the start of a new era in WWE.
Let's hope.
We can hope. That'll wrap it up for our thoughts. Leave a comment on the YouTube channel. Let us know your least favorite moments of WWE in 2015.
Find a positive in this. If you can find something that we forgot to point out, positive or negative, let us know.
Besides New Day, Cesaro, and Rollins.
That's right.
And of course, the great wrestling.
That's right.
But that'll wrap it up for our thoughts. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest in the world of wrestling. Check out Jeff Meacham on Twitter @_Jeff Meacham. And that'll do it.